What up, Berserkers? Today we're going to be playing 2.4 Hog Cycle. This is going to be pretty broken. It is a really quick cycle like most of my dicks, but this has just got so many broken cards. I mean, Evo Dark Elf, Evo Cannon, Vines, Hog, Quick Cycle. Like, it's going to be hopefully a domination stepping on kids fest. So I thought I would talk about something today that happened in my live stream. So I've started streaming the last few days. Okay, that's easy claps with the Vines. I've started streaming the last few days, and I did a ladder pushing ranked stream with Jidler, and there's this topic of conversation that came up where we were talking about the weirdest interactions we've had with people that have watched our YouTube channel and whatnot. And I mentioned this like LA story because I was in LA. Okay, thanks, dude. Really appreciate that one, Hughie Chew. I was in LA a few months ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the best experience there. I just didn't like the environment. I didn't like the, I don't know, the clout chasing sort of feel of the whole place. It wasn't for me, basically. Okay, dude, who is this guy? All right, we're gonna go for a cannon here, and I think I'm gonna have to go for Vines, because, all right, I didn't know if the Valkyrie was gonna aggro onto the cannon, so I don't regret the Vines. No regrets. That's how we live our life. And, I hope we can activate King Tower here. So let's go for a cheeky King Tower activation. And you know what? I'm going to go for a Hog because I can counter the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and that's going to freeze it for a second with the skeletons. Okay, he's going to go for an Ice Spirit. That's going to counter it. Hold on. These guys are kind of virgins, so, you know, he might go for some kind of prediction here. So let's go with skeletons. Didn't know if he was going to go for like a prediction log or something. Okay, he went for it. It's good to know he has arrows. And there was this story that everybody wanted me to talk about called the LA story, and I kind of refused to because it's not my proudest exactly moment. So I thought I would talk about it in this video while I have a chance to concentrate. So what happened was, Hughie, you're going to need to zip it, little bro, okay? If I'm going to dive into this, you're going to need to shut that gob. All right, we're going to go for a kite. I don't know what the hell that Valkyrie was. And we've actually got more damage in this lane, so let's go for a Hog. And we might, you know, he's going to go Ice Spirit, so hopefully we can... No, we don't Vines the Ice Spirit, but it's all good. That's going to get a shit ton of damage. But essentially what happened, I didn't enjoy LA that much, so I was keen to leave. So I went to the airport like 6 hours early. He might go for a prediction arrows. Okay, you know what? I can just counter this whole thing with the Evo Cannon, so that's going to be nice. And I went to the airport very early because I wanted to get out of there. I wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't my favorite trip of all time. Kind of missed the Vines there. By kind of, I mean absolutely. And so there's something legal in California, which is illegal where I live, and it rhymes with seed. That good Zaza, that sweet Mary Jane. So I made the very smart decision of deciding to hit one of those weed pens before I went through the airport by myself, which you can already tell sounds like a really, really smart idea. And I've kind of talked about how that shit makes you feel before. It's very like, it makes you feel kind of like socially anxious, and it can make you feel like everything's kind of going in slow motion and you're kind of very aware of what people are thinking of you, or at least you're just paranoid. You think people are thinking things when really you're just kind of like, you just zard up, right? That's just how it is. And okay, please get to the tower and win the game. Evo Valkyrie's not going to save you against broken Vines. See you in the lobby, Hughie. Hughie penis. Smash like. And so I took the weed pen, I smoked it, and then I went into the airport. Now, this was a bad idea because the airport is a place that I feel already a little bit like I need to get to my flight, and that's already a stressful experience because obviously you pay money for your flight. If you miss your flight, that's on you. I'm by myself in a different country. I need to find my flight. I need to get to the terminal. And so I was like, okay, there's like 2 steps when you're going through an airport. There's 2 steps you need to get through. You need to check in your big bag, the big bag that you take all your luggage in. Drop it off on like the Velcro, I don't know what you call it, the treadmill thing that takes it to the plane, they put it in. So you got to check that in. That usually doesn't take long. Now the part that can take long and the part you got to be aware about is when you go through security. I think it's called TSA. When you go through security where they scan your luggage, you know what I mean? Okay, you know what? That's a valuable Vine, so we're going to take that. Where they scan your luggage. Okay, I'm going to go like this, and hopefully with the power of the Berserky, anything's possible. All right, anything is possible. I'm a dreamer. Please, Berserky, don't let me down. holy smokes, Berserky's broken, nerf Berserky. So I had 2 steps, and I got to the airport, I Za'd up. Zard takes like a little bit of time to kick in, not very long though, because it goes straight into my bloodstream. So that shit hit pretty quickly. I couldn't find where the check-in for the bagging was, so I went to somebody at the counter and they helped me, and that kind of eased my stress. I'm like, okay, only one more thing to do now, and that's to get my bag through airport security and then get to my terminal. That's pretty easy. Now I think I was early, yeah, because I went to the airport quite a bit earlier, so I wasn't pressed on time, but I definitely was kind of stressed just regardless, and like I didn't want anybody to look at me, I didn't want anybody to talk to me, especially because I didn't have the most fun experience of my life there. All right, hold that thought. Let's just make sure that my Evo Dark Goblin doesn't get sniped by the bow here and force out a log. All right, cool. And now that it's double, I'll go for a hog because I think we can defend. We have our Evos. And so I managed to find where, like, I dropped off my bag, then I went up the escalator to TSA to check in my bag, and then to my dismay, and you know how little I use that word. Okay, we did kind of predict that. All right, might go archers, so let's go like this. He didn't. Okay, now he goes archers probably. To my dismay, there was a big queue. Now, this never happens in my experience. I think it's just because it was like a big airport, popular airport, so, you know, things are happening. All right. Dark Goblin actually did get sniped there. All right, let's go with this, and that's gonna get value because it's just gonna fucking hit the bow and tank, and then all right, that's easy vines, and that's a dead bow. So there was a big queue, and I was like, okay, cool. There's a big queue. I'm just gonna wait here, put my headphones in, and I do not want to talk to anybody. I do not want to interact with anyone. Like I genuinely just wanted to be left alone, and luckily at an airport, most people do. Most people just want to be left alone, or they just want to get to their flight. They don't want to really talk too much. Okay, that was an interesting fireball. And so I put my headphones in and I stood in the line. At this point, I was very socially... Prediction? God, I'm good. I was very socially paranoid. And... Okay, that's easy vines. Where's his Tesla? He fucked up. I was very socially paranoid, and so I put my my AirPods in. And I was like, okay, I just hope that nobody looks at me. Nobody looks my way, and I can just get through. I can just have my earbuds in, listen to my music. And so I play music on my phone with my earpods in, and I start getting paranoid for some reason that people are looking at me. So I'm like, I feel like in my periphery, people are looking at me, but I'm like, Ken, you're paranoid. Like, think logically, this cannot be happening. And so I keep listening to my music for another few seconds, and then I notice like even the person behind me is looking back at me, and I'm kind of like, okay, I can't be paranoid. What's going on? Like, please, guys, please leave me alone. What the fuck is this? Some kind of like, I don't know, like not horror movie. That's a bit traumatic, but like just like nightmare situation where I'm at the airport and I'm already paranoid and it's just going terribly. And so I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Because everybody starts looking at me. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, did I get announced on the fucking telecom? Am I tweaking out? And then I realize my music is not playing through my headphones. So everybody is listening to the song I'm playing. And I hated that. I hated that so much. I felt so embarrassed. Everybody was looking at me. Everybody knew what I was listening to, and like it's dead quiet in these lines. Nobody's talking. Everybody's like just kind of looking around, and then everybody looking at me. And so I'm like, I would hate that even if I was sober. But this was like terrible. I hated this. And then the woman behind me looks at me. She's like 38 or something, and I kind of go, oh my God, like I didn't realize, like hoping she'd laugh along with me, like, oh my God, like I didn't realize. And she just kind of like looked at me like this and then looked forwards. And I'm like, okay, great. So that's just the worst thing that could have happened in that situation. Why couldn't you just like be in that? Oh, no worries. And then I try to put my headphones back in. And just before I had put my headphones back in, she turns around and she starts yipping and yapping. She's like, oh, where are you heading to? And I'm like, I'm not going to be like, oh, like Australia, and just put my headphones back in. So I say, oh, I try to be friendly, but I don't kind of like ask any questions. I don't, I guess, encourage the conversation is how I'll put it. And I am just literally, this is the last thing I want, just to talk to some random at the airport, just because of my mood. Like, you look at me, I'm a friendly face. All right. Like, I love a chat. Just not this one time. It's just the one time I didn't want to chat. Because I honestly, and I've said this before, I felt like I was having to operate like a human being on manual mode. Like I really was... That's how it feels sometimes on that Tsar. Like, you feel like you're like fitting in amongst the other human beings. You know, you're really struggling to operate as a human being because of this shit. So it wasn't a great experience. And then, why did he go ham? Wake up, okay? It's over. Why would you go pecker in the back? Like, what was the thinking behind that? There was none. And she talks to me. This woman talks to me the whole way. She just keeps talking to me the whole way through the line. And I'm really struggling to like keep up with the conversation. And I'm so like fried that I can't think of a way out. Like, I can't think of an escape plan of how to stop it without coming across incredibly rude. And I didn't really want to be incredibly rude because then I was getting paranoid. Like, she was gonna, I don't know. I was just very paranoid in that moment. I was thinking a lot of things. So I was just kind of like, I don't think I made it clear that I wasn't really looking to chat. Just because I was struggling to even communicate with her, to like figure out answers in my brain. Like, I was struggling to think of answers that I could actually say because I was so fucking geeked. And then we eventually get to the front of the line and she goes through airport security and I get through airport security and I'm like, okay, now just to get to my terminal. And then she's waiting for me. And I'm like, okay, all right, great. So we get to keep chatting. She's like, I don't really know where my terminal is. Do you mind like helping me like spot it out or whatever? So we go to the screens. They are like the screens that show you what's happening with all the flights and shit. And I'm like, man, I just want to get to my terminal and sit down. And so I'm like helping her find her flight. And then eventually I'm like, hey, like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I really have to go. My flight's leaving soon. And then she kind of gets the memo. So she's like, okay, really nice to meet you. And I was like, nice to meet you. And so I leave. And then I'm like, oh, this is just the last thing I want. I just want to be left alone. Like, I just want to go to my terminal. And then somebody recognized me at the airport. And I'm fried. So I'm like paranoid. Like, why is somebody else coming up to me? It was just like not what I wanted in this moment. And I feel like I wasn't rude in the way I interacted with this guy, but he was like, oh, like, you're Ken, right? Ken from Clash. And I was like, yeah, man, how you doing? I'm not going to lie. Like, I really need to get to my terminal right now, so I can't really stand around. And he was like, yeah, man, like, I understand. And I don't know. I felt like I kind of disappointed him, which kind of sucked. So then I don't know if he's going to be watching this. So then I told him, hey, man, I'm not going to lie. I've been trying to help this woman get to the terminal and I'm drunk as fuck. But I didn't want to say I'm zooted because I would never say something like that on the internet. That is a terrible influence. And that just it's not like me. And then I went to my terminal. I finally went to my terminal. And then I got a call from somebody that I didn't want to talk to. A call from somebody I did want to... I got a call from my friend. I don't know. It was just... It was a terrible experience. I got a call from somebody I did want to talk to, but then I got like two different separate calls. And this is when I'm like fried out of my mind. So I'm like, this is what happens in life though. These things happen. And that was the whole story. So it wasn't really like a fucking Tarantino movie or anything or a Nolan feature film, but that's what everybody wanted to know. And I told everyone it wasn't going to be crazy, but I just wanted to share that just so nobody would spam release the LA files anymore, you know? But yeah, that was a terrible experience. Terrible. Why I said it like that. And the moral of the story is, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs, and don't do drugs at an airport. No bueno. All right, this is not a lituation. So eSpirit needs to clutch the fuck up here, and it fucking does. Holy smokes. Okay, Vines is not the most fun thing to verse in the world, I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to have to go for a cannon here. And yeah, so that's pretty much the story. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Now you can understand why I didn't want to tell it. It's not the most, I'm not exactly proud of it. All right, we're going to go Dark Goblin here because he'll have to play at least a Vines. Then I'll go Hog other lane. And so like he needs to play Vines here. Okay, is he going to play Vines or like what's going on? Okay, he played Vines. Ooh, this is actually a fucking match we've got. All right, that's enough of a threat on the left. So let's go with this on the right. And let's see what he plays here. He's going to go late hut. No, he's not. He can't afford it, or he doesn't have it in cycle. Let's keep pressuring with the Evo Dark Goblin here. And then let's go for another Dark Goblin for the Evo Witch. And that's going to be Vines Bait. Now, if I go Hog Rider, he's almost definitely going to go with a Goblin Hut. So I might even Vines the Hut. No, I'm not going to. Okay, this guy's fucking dialed. You can tell he wants this game. Let's go with a East Spirit and a Berserky. And then... Okay, sure. Poison, that's fine. Let's go with this. And then with the Evo, he Vines my Hog Rider, and that's going to be GG. There's no way he can defend that now. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that story. Not my proudest moment. Yeah, no. There it is.